Still not done with 1970. In fact, I think I could continue to make videos about the music that was released in 1970 for, well, many a month. But I'm going to put out another one. This is in the Soul R&B Motown genre, and it's the second one I've done. And the first album of three I'm going to talk about is the Stevie Wonder released Signed, Sealed and Delivered. This album signalled the beginning of Stevie Wonder's continued development as an artist who wasn't willing to just put out what Motown wanted, i.e. Berry Gordy. He wanted to experiment more. And the album that followed this went the whole hog, so to speak, and started the trilogy of brilliance. I'm referring, of course, to Music on My Mind. But this one was sort of in two camps, really. It was still very much reliant on the Motown sort of brand. And so Wonder, who, of course, wrote all his own stuff, was committed to getting hits. But at the same time, he was becoming more and more politically aware, and his music was becoming more and more developed, I'd say. So we're going to go through the tracks now on this album, Signed, Sealed and Delivered. So tracks then. Opened up with Never Had a Dream Come True, which was a huge hit. It swaggers in with orchestral arrangements aside with Stevie's vocals. It's an exquisite start to the album, but it was sort of sadly neglected, I recall. Lots of do and those violins, and what a great voice he's got, inspirational. Then we had the cover of the Lennon and McCartney We Can Work It Out, which was a pretty good effort, I thought. Punchy, funky version with some neat harmonica. The title track followed then. This was another hit. A lot of strident drums and sitar also eased into the mix. And a few snippets of horns. And there's some fiery gospel harmonies on this. And there's a Aspie opening scream from Wonder, helped by the tight drumming. The girls are wonderful in the harmonies, and it's got a sweet horn section. Heaven Help Us All is next, just a orchestral ballad really. And then you can judge a book by its cover. You can't judge a book by its cover. Again, the vocals and the lead vocals and the chorus mixing together effortlessly, and strident determination from Stevie to get his point across. Sugar is next. It's a happy celebration, overflowing with wild shouts of joy, harmonica and a ripping guitar. Don't Wonder Why comes next, and it's another beautiful soulful ballad, sang with a lot of tenderness, and the harmonica bleeds class. Then we've got Anything You Want Me to Do, some funky horns again, enabling the soul beat with those gospel harmonies to litter the sound. And then I Can't Let My Heaven Walk Away. There's some awesome harmonica on this. It's a lost love song. Backing vocals are well synced in as well. And then we've got Joy, Takes Over Me. And Stevie used a lot of harmonica on this, and it grabs your attention on here as well. And an inspirational vocal for power and soul. I got to have a song. It's got a slower ballad edge, with the strings aiding the foundations. And then the finale, Something to Say. sparkling rhythm with nice guitar runs and a skippy drums, and those horns leaking in again, and another solid cut. It's a pacey beat, which is certainly a bit funky. This was a fine album. Didn't really get the credits and the accolades that it really deserved. But it was a preview really to the transformation that I mentioned earlier on the horizon from the trilogy of excellence, Music of My Mind, Talking Book and Inner Visions. So anyway, check it out, signed, sealed and delivered by Stevie Wonder. Next up is Psychedelic Chat by the Temptations. This is their 12th album, but it continued their shift away really from the standard Motown R&B singles that they were famous for in the mid-60s. And this developed their allegiance really to psychedelia in the music. And there's a lot of hard rock guitars on this album, a lot of synthesized sound effects, multi-track drums and stereo shifting vocals, giving the songs a harder, less traditional feel within the Temptations' previous work. And I listened to it the other day and it was pretty impressive. So I'm going to go through the track listing here and see what we've got. Psychedelic Chat, the title track, opens us up. It's a vocal bonanza really, with the funk gyrating in tandem with those vocals. The guitar lines and drums shift back and forth across the stereo spectrum, and all the 5 Temptations make lead vocal contributions here at irregular intervals. The keyboardist Earl Van Dyke said of this track, one of his favourite recording sessions. Next up is You Make Your Own Heaven and Hell Right Here on Earth. Quite politically charged, this one. Variety of vocals again, with the big plus on the song. And it highlights once again the array of vocal talent on display. And then we came to Hum Along and Dance. Few words here. It's really mainly instrumental and sort of various noises and fairly forgettable really. But then we've got the classic Take a Stroll Through Your Mind, all 8 minutes, a very psychedelic blues type track with an ode to the use of marijuana, and again the variety of vocals from the members. Very stripped back, this one, and for bass lovers you'll be in Idylia here. A mix of the psychedelic guitar is a bit of an indulgent on it, but I like it. It's Summer, strings filter through here at the start, and there's a spoken word doo-wop style with sort of unison harmony vocals. A very romantic song, it has to be said. Next up is War, a very famous song, a big hit for Edwin Starr. So many don't realise that it really was a Temptations song. Starr took it to another level, but this original is captivating. It's of course an anti-war Vietnam protest song. And then we've got You Need Love Like I Do, Don't You, which is got a shuffled beat with some background horns. Kendrick's on lead vocals here, and it was also recorded by Gladys Knight. And then we finish off with Friendship Train. This is another cover of a Gladys Knight hit that she had the year before. Shared lead vocals, bit of a timid effort really to garnish that Isaac Hayes type sound, but there's some nice congas and an airy wah-wah guitar, but I don't think it was up to much. Overall, this album's a bit mixed really. It has a few highlights, but it's also pretty middle of the road. But nevertheless, if we heard it as a new release today, we'd go wild over it. But that's my take on Psychedelic Chat by The Temptations. Third and final offering on this video is the debut release as a solo artist by one Diana Ross. The late '69 saw a final effort as part of Diana Ross and the Supremes, and of course that had developed from the early '60s as the Supremes, reflecting how she became more and more the artist, the singer that Berry Gordy wanted to put forward. So when she went solo, it was really no surprise. And this debut album came out in May of 1970. She was a highly successful artist. And this album really added to that value. The opening track is one of the most beautiful songs that she's ever sung. Reach Out and Touch Somebody's hand. It's a stunningly beautiful, soulful ballad with harmonies to melt to. As I say, one of her best vocals, and the orchestral arrangements are extremely uplifting. And next up is Now That There's You. It's got a childlike delivery, this, but still very enriching. And then You're All I Need to Get By. This is another hit single, a minor hit, but it sweeps over you, and the vocals are absolutely sensational. These Things Will Keep Loving You. This has got a very hits feel to it, with some pulsing horns. And then another huge hit, a huge standout track, Ain't No Mountain High Enough. This is an extended version of this gem of a love song. Gospel feel seeps through it. The feminine harmonies are an absolute thing of beauty, almost stealing the show. And the arrangements, well, 5-star. Even the spoken word excerpts are absolutely superb. And then we move on to Something on My Mind. Bit MOR this one, so on to I Wouldn't Change the Man He Is. Less well known, but quite stirring. And then we have Keep an Eye. Maintains the quality, the harmonies, arrangements and horns mixed with Diana's assertive out in front lead vocals. And Where There Was Darkness, much the same. In fact, the album really sort of became a little bit repetitive. Can It Wait Until Tomorrow, though? A slow, sumptuous ballad. And listen in detail to the vocal delivery here. And finally, the last cut, Dark Side of the World. Again, some rousing Motown strutting vocals, which ride us off to the end. So a pretty impressive debut by Diana Ross, and of course it just maintained that momentum that took her into a highly successful solo career. So there we have it. There's 3 more from 1970 in my Soul R&B Motown genre. Okay, that's my lot.